What is up, everybody? JT Dangerously here once again. I am back to do my AEW's All Out 3 2021 predictions. Now, All Out 3 happens this Sunday, live on pay-per-view, Bleacher Report Live and Fight TV, from the Now Arena in my favorite wrestling city, Chi-Town, Chicago, Illinois. Now, this card for All Out 3 this year for AEW, folks, it is incredibly stacked and stupidly loaded from top to bottom. We have 11 fantastic matches with 4 big titles on the line, so I am extremely excited to do my All Out 3 predictions for you guys this year, and I hope you guys do enjoy. Now, our record coming into All Out 3 this year in Chicago after our last AEW event, which was Fight for the Fallen in Charlotte, North Carolina, we went 4-2. So our overall record coming in is 101, 32-1. So we're coming in insanely hot when it comes to AEW pay-per-view predictions on the channel, because ever since AEW started, we have never had a losing record, and I'm looking to keep it that way. So hopefully in this video we will continue this amazing winning streak we are on right now. We're on an unprecedented 17 pay-per-view winning streak, the longest winning streak on the channel, and hopefully in this video we will extend that winning streak and make it win number 18. Hopefully. Now, if you guys haven't checked out the 2 New Japan Pro Wrestling's Wrestle Grand Slam and MetLife Dome Night 1 and Night 2 predictions video yet, definitely go check them out if you haven't. This is the 3rd and final video of the day, and this is the final video on the channel in the month of August. So hope you guys will be able to watch this video and all the fantastic videos we put up on the channel in the month of August this year. And as always, sure you support the channel as always, guys, by watching these videos, super kicking those like buttons, hitting that notification bell, and commenting your picks and your opinions in the comment sections down below. Now, if this is your first time watching my channel today, guys, as a first time viewer, and this is your first video, boy, big to go. And if you're a huge fan of All Elite Wrestling and being the elite like myself, and you're ready for All Out 3 from the Now Arena in Chicago, Illinois, welcome to the Dangerous Alliance. I'm JT Dangerously. Welcome to the club, because this club is just 2. Woo woo! Again, thank you guys so very much. Now, other than that, let's get right into these predictions. Let's start off with the first matchup, which will happen on the buy-in pre-show. It is the 21-woman Casino Battle Royal, where the winner gets a future shot at the AEW Women's Championship. So coming from me, in this 21-woman Casino Battle Royal, to see who will get a future shot at the AEW Women's Champion, my 3 picks to win are Thunder Rosa, the Native Beast Nyla Rose, and my wildcard pick, whoever is the Joker. And now the next matchup. It is a one-on-one first ever meeting. On one side, he is the leader of the factory, and he'll have his factory combatants, Aaron Solo and Nick Comoroto, in his corner, and he is looking to get his biggest win in AEW in 2021. He is QT Marshall. And his opponent is making his AEW pay-per-view debut, and he is a former 2-time WWE champion, a former 2-time World Heavyweight Champion, a former 2-time WCW World Heavyweight Champion, and a former ECW Champion as well. He is the largest athlete in AEW. He is no more BS, Paul White. So coming from me in this one-on-one first ever meeting between these two, I am going to go with Paul White to get it done and defeat QT Marshall by any means. And now the next matchup. It is another one-on-one first ever meeting. On one side, he is representing New Japan Pro Wrestling, and he is making his AEW pay-per-view debut. He is a former 2-time IWGP Heavyweight Champion and a former 7-time IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champion. He is the leader of Bread Club. He is Strong Arm Satoshi Kojima. And his opponent is the former 2-time IWGP United States Champion and the former AEW World Champion. And if you know his music, his old music, you'll know who I'm talking about. He is Death Rider Jon Moxley. So coming from me in this one-on-one first ever meeting between these two, I am going to go with Death Rider Jon Moxley to get it done and defeat Strong Arm Satoshi Kojima by any means in a quiet banger. And now the next matchup. It is for the TNT Championship. Starting off with the challenger. He is looking to become the next TNT champion, and if you know his music, you'll know who I'm talking about.
pull up. If you see me staring at you, better not pull up. I said the world is cold when a punk pull up. I said the world is cold when a punk pull up. I know the world is cold when a punk pull up. If you see me staring at you, better not pull up. Come on.
He is the Mad King, Eddie Kingston. And Eddie Kingston is challenging the 5th reigning and defending TNT champion. And if you know his music making its Steam debut on the channel, you'll know who I'm talking about. He is God's favorite champion, the Redeemer Miro. Now, this is a huge opportunity for Eddie Kingston, a chance to become the next TNT champion and stop this Bulgarian juggernaut right in his tracks. But it's not going to be easy. There inside you have God's favorite champion, the Redeemer Miro, looking to continue his amazing run as the TNT champion, and he's looking to make his 7th title defense a successful one. Now, the last time we saw Miro defend the TNT title was against Fuego del Sol in Chicago on August 20th on Rampage. But now he's got a stiff test in Eddie Kingston. And we've got to say it, Miro has had a fantastic run with this belt. 4 months as TNT champion, 6 title defenses successfully, looking to make Eddie Kingston lucky number 7. And he's looking to walk out of Chicago still God's favorite champion and still the TNT champion. So coming from me in this matchup for the TNT title, ooh boy, this one could definitely be a good one. But coming from me, I am going to go with God's favorite champion, the Redeemer Miro, to retain the TNT title by any means and defeat the Mad King Eddie Kingston in a close banger. And now the next matchup. It is another one-on-one first ever meeting. And I have a feeling this matchup is going to steal the show. On one side, he is the leader of Death Triangle. And he is a former Cruiserweight champion as well as a former NXT champion. And if you know his music, you'll know who I'm talking about. Out of my head, you're out of time. Out of my head, you're out of time. He is the Bastard Pac, and his opponent is making his AEW pay-per-view debut, and he is a former IWGP Intercontinental Champion, a former United States Champion, and he is also a former NXT Champion. Accompanied by his business advisor, Chavo Guerrero, he is Black Mask, Andrade El Idolo. Now, this matchup has the potential to be an absolute show stealer. This matchup, given time, could absolutely tear the house down in Chicago. Now, starting off with Pac first, this is a big matchup for him. A chance to finally put down Andrade for everything he's been saying that Pac's the weak link in Death Triangle, and trying to get his boys Phoenix and Pentagon Jr. to join his crew. But Pac is coming in, leader by example, looking to put down Andrade here and now. And I know his record at All Out is pretty damn good, so he's looking to continue his dominance at All Out, one-on-one. There inside you have Black Mask Andrade El Idolo looking to make his AEW pay-per-view debut a successful one. The last time we saw Andrade on pay-per-view was at Triple Mania in Mexico when he was accompanied by his father-in-law, the Nature Boy Ric Flair, against Kenny Omega for the AAA Mega Championship, in which I thought he was going to win, but failed to win the AAA Mega title from Omega. But Andrade is looking to make his AEW pay-per-view a successful one here, and he's looking to show Death Triangle that Pac is the weak link, and Andrade has been just wanting to get Pentagon and Rey Fenix to join his side to possibly having a Los Ingobernables crew in AEW. I mean, we already have it in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and if it wasn't for Andrade, La Sombra, Naito would not be what he is now, tranquilo as he is, being part of Los Ingobernables de Japón in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Then you have Rouge in Ring of Honor with La Facción Ingobernables. So if Andrade El Idolo can win this match to maybe show Pentagon and Phoenix that Pac's the weak link, we may see an AEW version of Los Ingobernables. But a victory here will definitely maybe get Phoenix and Pentagon's looking at Andrade as a leader. So, coming from me in this one-on-one first ever meeting between these two former NXT champions, this is one of the tougher picks on this show for me because I like Pac and I like Andrade, especially this Black Mask gimmick of Andrade. He looks just like Black Mask if you're a huge Batman fan and Sionis. He looks just like him and it fits his character. But this matchup is hard to predict. This is definitely a 50-50 pick. But coming from me, I am going to go with Black Mask Andrade El Idolo to get his first AEW pay-per-view win and defeat the Bastard Pac by any means in a classic. And now the next matchup. It is the final fight grudge match between two men that hate each other's guts. On one side, he is the leader of the Pinnacle, and he is looking to be the man that said, I retired Chris Jericho in AEW. He is the man that says he's better than you, and you know it. He is the salt of the earth, and if you know his music, you'll know who I'm talking about. He is Maxwell Jacob Freeman, MJF. And his opponent is the only man in World Wrestling Federation history to defeat The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin to become the first ever undisputed World Wrestling Federation champion. He is the former record-setting 9-time WWE Intercontinental Champion, a former IWGP Intercontinental Champion, and he was the very first AEW World Champion. He is the self-proclaimed King of the World. He is the King of Bling Bling, Chris Jericho. Now this is the third one-on-one meeting between MJF and Chris Jericho. MJF has won both one-on-one meetings over Jericho, and their last meeting happened on AEW Dynamite on August 18th when Maxwell Jacob Freeman tapped out Jericho with the Salt of the Earth armbar. Now, this matchup is definitely important because, like I said, MJF is looking to become the man that ends Chris Jericho AEW in-ring career, because that's what's on the line here. Jericho is putting up his AEW wrestling career in this matchup. So MJF, of course he's going to want to take this match. He wants to have the notoriety of saying, I was the guy who ended Chris Jericho's AEW wrestling career. And knowing his ego, he wanted this matchup so bad, he can taste it. Finally get Jericho out of his hair and finally end the inner circle once and for all. But it is not going to be easy to put down Jericho in Chicago. There inside you have the King of the World, Chris Jericho, looking to get it finally done. I mean, he has been waiting, he has been wanting to get his hands on this sanctimonious son of a bitch, MJF, for a long time, and now he has a chance to finally beat him one-on-one. But his career is on the line. It is must-win for the Alpha and the Demo God himself, because Chris Jericho being out of wrestling would be just such a weird thing in AEW. Sure, he can do his commentary stuff on Dynamite and Rampage, but seeing Chris Jericho in the ring is special, and when you hear that crowd singing his song Judas, it's a moment you just don't forget. So this matchup is pretty much must-win for Chris Jericho to finally end MJF right here and now. So coming from me, in this final fight grudge match between two men that hate each other's guts, and if Chris Jericho loses, his AEW in-ring career is over. I do like MJF. I won't deny that. I do like MJF, but coming from me, I just cannot see Chris Jericho's AEW wrestling career ending here in Chicago. So coming from me, I am going to go with the King of Bling Bling and the King of the World, Chris Jericho, to finally defeat MJF by any means. And now the next matchup. And this matchup I am extremely excited for. It is another one-on-one first ever meeting. On one side, he is the former TNT champion, and he will be accompanied by the icon known as Sting. And he is wrestling his biggest match in AEW in 2021. And if you know his music, making its theme debut on the channel, you'll know who I'm talking about.
sleep 'cause my head's on fire. I hate creeps and I hate liars. Oh, you want the grave cat secret that I never...
He is Darby Allin, and his opponent is making his return to pay-per-view for the first time since the Royal Rumble in 2014, 7 years ago. He is also making his AEW Wrestling pay-per-view debut. He is the former Ring of Honor World Champion and a former two-time WWE Champion that held that WWE title for 434 days. And if you know his music, making its theme debut on the channel, you'll know who I'm talking about. It's clobbering time, folks. Look in my eyes, what do you see? The cult of personality. I'll tell you who you wanna be. Oh, I'm the cult of personality. He is the best in the world, CM Punk. Now, this matchup is definitely a dream matchup, but the fact that we're seeing CM Punk on pay-per-view for the first time in 7 years makes this matchup so magically important. Now, starting off with Darby Allin first, this matchup is big. Like I said, it's his biggest match in 2021 in AEW in his entire career. To face CM Punk in his first match in nearly 7 years off pay-per-view and fighting CM Punk in his city, Chicago, this matchup is going to be big. And Darby Allin is definitely going to get booed in Chicago facing CM Punk because we saw John Cena get booed there in Money in the Bank in Chicago. Darby Allin will get booed in this match. I guarantee it. If he does anything on Punk, they're going to boo the hell out of it. And they're either going to start the "You Can't Wrestle" chant or any type of chant. But Darby Allin is coming into hostile territory in Chicago. And he's looking to pull off a massive, huge upset. There inside you have the returning CM Punk, who is making his return to pay-per-view for the first time since the Royal Rumble in 2014. But here's a crazy, dangerous fact. The last time CM Punk wrestled a one-on-one match on pay-per-view and won was all the way back at Battlegrounds in 2013 against Ryback. So CM Punk hasn't won a one-on-one match on pay-per-view in 8 years. But the fact that CM Punk is back in professional wrestling, and now he's with All Elite Wrestling, just shows that All Elite Wrestling is the #1 wrestling company in the world today. WWE tried to ruin that moment on August 20th at Rampage, the first dance at the United Center. When you heard that Punk reaction from that crowd, that the United Center exploded. As big as a Michael Jordan comeback for the Bulls. That moment in Chicago on August 20th of this year will always go down as one of the greatest wrestling moments in the forever. I mean, that night will never be forgotten to a lot of CM Punk fans, a lot of wrestling fans like myself. That night will never be forgotten. The fact that he said on August 20th, he is back, the Michael Jordan line from '95, when Jordan came back to the Bulls and won 3 championships. This could be a big year if CM Punk comes back after 7 years away from the wrestling business and goes after the AEW title. That would be amazing. And with so many other people that may be coming to AEW, like Bryan Danielson, which has been rumored he may be at All Out this year. And I'll just say it right now. If I hear Bryan Danielson's final countdown from his Ring of Honor days, that United Center and I just may explode. We also have names like Adam Cole that could be coming to AEW. And just think about it. Danielson, Punk, Cole in the same company. Mind-blowing, and it just proves that 2021 in wrestling has been the wildest and the most fun this year. And Punk is now looking to win his first match in 8 years, and he's looking to do it in front of his hometown crowd of Chicago. And Punk usually never loses in Chicago. So coming from me in this one-on-one first ever meeting between Darby Allin and the returning CM Punk, as much as I do like Darby Allin, I think he's done a fantastic job in AEW. Coming from me, he is not walking out of this match without he is not walking into this. He's not walking out of this match with a win. I just cannot pick against CM Punk in Chicago. So coming from me, I am going to go with the best in the world, CM Punk, to win his first one-on-one match on pay-per-view in nearly 8 years and defeat Darby Allin by any means in a banger. And now the next matchup. It is a steel cage match for the AEW Tag Team Championships. Starting off with the challengers. They are both representing Death Triangle, and they are currently the reigning AAA Mega Tag Team Champions, and they're looking to become the next AEW Tag Team Champions. And if you know their music, you'll know who I'm talking about. Consisting of Rey Fenix and Pentagon El Cero Miedo, they are the Lucha Brothers. And the Lucha Brothers are challenging the fourth reigning and defending AEW Tag Team Champions. They are both representing the Super Elite, and they are easily, in my opinion, the best tag team in the world today. And if you know their music, you'll know who I'm talking about. In Chicago, are you ready for Super Kick Party? They are Matt, Nick, the Young Bucks. Now this is only the second one-on-one meeting between the Lucha Brothers and the Young Bucks in AEW. The last time these two met was all the way back at the first Double or Nothing in 2019 at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, where the Lucha Brothers defeated the Young Bucks. So this matchup has been brewing for over 2 years. Now this matchup being a steel cage match is uncharted territories for both these teams, because I don't think the Lucha Brothers have ever been in a steel cage match, and neither have the Young Bucks. So you know, when it comes to first ever steel cage matches, on pay-per-view for AEW, they don't disappoint when it comes to first-time evers. Now, starting off with the Lucha Brothers, they earned this opportunity by defeating the Jurassic Express in the tag team tournament on Dynamite in Milwaukee this past week on Rampage, and they definitely earned this opportunity, and now they're looking to hold not just the AAA Mega Tag Team Championships, but they're looking to hold the AEW Tag Team titles as well. So, and then on the other side, you have the Young Bucks looking to continue their amazing run as the AEW Tag Team Champions, and they're looking to do something that they have never done, and that's win a steel cage match. But that steel cage match also neutralizes the Good Brothers from interfering. It neutralizes Michael Nakazawa from interfering, and it also neutralizes Brandon Cutler from interfering. So we're going to see if the Young Bucks can walk out of Chicago still the AEW Tag Team Champions without any help from the Super Elite. So coming from me in this steel cage match for the AEW Tag Team titles, the last steel cage match we saw was on Dynamite with Wardlow and Cody, if I remember, in Atlanta. So this is the first time we're seeing a steel cage match on pay-per-view for AEW, and they won't disappoint when it comes to first time matches on pay-per-view. But coming from me, as much as I know a lot of people are going to pick the Lucha Brothers to win the tag team titles here, I'm going to be living dangerously here. And I may get this one wrong, but I am going to go with the Young Bucks to retain the AEW tag team titles by any means and defeat the Lucha Brothers in a steel cage classic. And now the next matchup. It is for the AEW Women's Championship. Starting off with the challenger. She is representing the Best Friends, and she is looking to become finally the AEW Women's Champion. And if you know her music, you'll know who I'm talking about. She is the galaxy's favorite alien, Kris Statlander. And Kris Statlander is challenging the fourth reigning and defending AEW Women's Champion. She'll be accompanied by Jamie Hayter and Rebel. And if you know her music, you'll know who I'm talking about, baby. See you now. She is Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, baby. Now, this is only the second one-on-one meeting between Kris Statlander and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Kris Statlander won the last meeting over Britt Baker all the way back in 2019 on AEW Dynamite in Corpus Christi, Texas. So these two have not met in over 2 years, but this time it is for the AEW Women's Championship. Now, starting off with Kris Statlander, first, this is a big opportunity for her, a chance to finally hold the AEW Women's Championship for the first time ever, and this is her first title match since returning from her ACL injury last year, and now she's looking to turn what happened last year from a tragedy to a glorious moment and walk out the AEW Women's Champion. There inside you have Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, looking to continue her amazing run as the AEW Women's Champion. The last time we saw Britt Baker defend this AEW title was on Rampage on the debut episode in the main event in Britt Baker's hometown of Brittsburg, Pennsylvania, defeating Red Velvet. And that night we also saw the return of Jamie Hayter, aligning herself with Dr. Britt Baker. Britt Baker is looking to show that she is indeed the role model of AEW, and she's looking to walk out of Chicago the AEW Women's Champion. DMD. So coming from me in this huge matchup for the AEW Women's Championship, it's the Big Bang Theory versus the Lockjaws, the galaxy's favorite alien versus the AEW role model. But coming from me, as much as I do like Kris Statlander and I do like her being part with the best friends with Orange Cassidy, Wheeler Yuta, and Chucky T, I am going to go with the good doctor herself, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, baby, to retain the AEW Women's Championship by any means and defeat Kris Statlander in a banger. And now, the main event. It is for the AEW World Championship. Starting off with the challenger. He is a former two-time World Heavyweight Champion, a former two-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion, and he is currently the reigning Impact Wrestling World Champion, and now he's looking to become the next AEW Champion. And if you know his music, you'll know who I'm talking about. He is the instant classic, Christian Cage. And Christian Cage is challenging the third reigning and defending AEW World Champion. He is also the reigning AAA Mega Champion. He is the god of professional wrestling. And he will be accompanied by the Invisible Hand, Don Callis. And if you know his music, you'll know who I'm talking about. He is Kenny, by God, Omega. Now, this is only the second one-on-one meeting between Christian Cage and the god of professional wrestling, Kenny by God Omega. Christian Cage won the last meeting over Kenny Omega for the Impact Wrestling World title on the debut episode of Rampage in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and this is the much-anticipated rematch for the AEW Championship. Now, starting off with Christian Cage first, he is looking to make it 2 in a row against Kenny Omega and looking to make it 2 in a row in taking Kenny Omega's titles. Now, we all remember what happened at Rampage. He used Christian Cage became the first person in over a year and a half to defeat Kenny Omega in the ring one-on-one, and now he's looking to do it once again on pay-per-view and walk out with the AEW World Championship. Now, Christian Cage is the reigning Impact Wrestling World Champion, and he will be defending that Impact Wrestling World title on September 18th at Impact Wrestling's Victory Road against my favorite, the inevitable Ace Austin. And hopefully they don't add any other people to that match, because Ace Austin does deserve a one-on-one shot at the Impact Wrestling World title. But Christian Cage is looking to become the third Canadian wrestler to hold the AEW World title. Jericho was the first, Omega was the second, Christian Cage wants to be the third. There inside you have Kenny by God Omega looking to continue his reign as the AEW champion. And the last time we saw Kenny Omega defend the AEW title was all the way back in June on Saturday Night Dynamite against Jungle Boy. So Kenny Omega has not defended the AEW title in over 3 months. But when you have multiple championships in 3 different organizations, how can you? But Kenny Omega is looking to show that he's not the AEW champion for nothing. He is the god of pro wrestling, as Don Callis says. And he's looking to finally get some revenge against Christian Cage for taking one of his titles, as he's trying to be the self-proclaimed belt collector. So coming from me in this massive main event match for the AEW World Championship, oh boy, this one's going to be a good one. I have a good feeling this one's going to be just a classic. And their matchup at Rampage was really good, surprisingly really good. But coming from me, as much as I am a huge fan of Christian Cage, I'm a much bigger fan of the god of pro wrestling, Kenny Omega. So I am going to go with Kenny by God Omega to retain the AEW World Championship by any means and defeat the instant classic Christian Cage in a banger. And those are my All Elite Wrestling's All Out 3 2021 predictions. Now I do want to thank you guys very much for watching this video today. Comment below, who do you see winning that massive main event match for the AEW title between Christian Cage and Kenny Omega? Who do you see winning the AEW Women's Championship between Kris Statlander and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD? Who do you see winning that much anticipated showdown between Darby Allin and a returning CM Punk? Who do you see winning the steel cage match for the AEW Tag Team titles between the Lucha Brothers and the Young Bucks? Who do you see winning between Pac and Andrade El Idolo? Who do you see winning the Women's Battle Royal? And who do you see walking out the TNT champion between Eddie Kingston and God's favorite champion, Miro? Let me know all of your picks in the comment section down below, and let's have a conversation about it. Of course, I'm always on to see your comment, like it, and of course reply right back to me, because comments and your opinions are absolutely always welcome on this channel. Now, I do want to thank you guys so very much for watching all the videos I put up on the channel in the month of August on the channel. You guys really showed your support on the channel in the month of August, and I'm truly blessed to have you guys part of this dangerous alliance. You guys are the true MVPs, and now with August in the books, we are going into a huge month in the month of September with big videos concerning the G1 Climax Tournament for New Japan Pro Wrestling, Death Before Dishonor for Ring of Honor, and the return of NFL predictions, and of course college football predictions. So again, I want to thank you guys so very much for showing all your support in the month of August on the channel, and hope you guys will continue what you guys did in August into a big month on the channel in the month of September. Now, before you guys go, as always, you guys can never forget to do this. That like button, comment, share with your friends. Of course, super kick that like button like only you guys can. Of course, you guys can never forget to do this as well. That subscribe button, become part of this bigger and dangerous alliance. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and we're getting so close to that 900 subscriber mark, but YouTube tells me that only 65% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel yet. So let's change that, folks. If you're a fan of professional wrestling when it comes to All Elite Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and Ring of Honor, and you're a fan of professional sports when it comes to the NFL, college football, Major League Baseball, the NBA, the NHL, college basketball, super kick that subscribe button. It's free. Become part of this bigger, dangerous alliance. And I will see you guys on the first Monday of September, which will be on Labor Day Monday, for my official Week 1 NFL predictions, my Week 2 college football predictions, and my official Ring of Honor's Death Before Dishonor 18 2021 predictions. Bandito, EC3, Demonic Flamita, Brody King, Fatal 4-Way Elimination Match. Later days, guys. Have a wonderful week and a wonderful rest of the month. Stay safe. Later days, and peace.